Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Cambridge Steps. This is the preliminary PET edition. And my name is Karina, and I've been teaching on OutSchool for just over a year now. I'm a former international English school teacher and I'm Cambridge certified. I taught for over 15 years in private international schools in Turkey, but now I teach exclusively from home in the UK. I'm really excited to share my knowledge and insights about the Cambridge English Language Assessment steps with you today. So let's begin. So the Cambridge English Assessment is a globally recognised framework for assessing language proficiency. It offers exams tailored for learners of all ages and levels, focusing on the key skills of reading, writing, listening and speaking. And it's been around a long time. So these exams provide structured steps for developing real-world communication skills and earning internationally accepted certifications. It works alongside the CEFR scale, which is the Common European Framework of Reference, which is a universal standard to measure language ability. So you can see the CEFR here, with A1, A2, basic, independent and proficient. And here is the Cambridge English scale, which has the numbers and gives us a little bit more in-depth when we take an assessment there. That's the one running alongside it there. So let's take a closer look at the steps. Okay, so you can see that they start with starters, which is pre-A1, okay, on the CEFR scale. So the starters exam is designed to align with these scales. Then we go on to the movers, A1, flyers, key, A2 for schools, or KET as it was formerly known as at the A2. The preliminary, or PET as we call it, B1, first FCE, which is a B2, advanced, which is CAE, which is a C1, and proficiency, which is a C2. And then at the top I've put IELTS, which is anywhere between a B2 and a C2. It's like somewhere in between depending on your score band, and it's commonly used for academic purposes, migration, to go to English speaking countries. So this alignment ensures that teachers and parents can choose appropriate levels for the learners. There's like clear milestones and steps to achieve along the journey, and progress can be tracked easily and effectively. And the whole process is achievable and rewarding for everyone. And it's preferred if you take each step and not miss any out. Doesn't mean your child has to take every exam, but it should follow those steps because they're designed to work together. So let's move on and let's take a closer look at the PET preliminary exam. So we can see here we've got the Common European Framework, the CEFR, and we've got PET is a B1. And just starting as an independent user. And we can see the scale there, 140, 160. And if we got anywhere between 160, 170 on the Cambridge English score, we get a distinction and it's moving up onto B2. So anywhere between 140 and 160 is a B1 PET pass. And we get the same certificate here. They've moved on from the young learners certificates where we have the shields. We have a set certificate, and it's whether you're an adult and you're taking the preliminary exam or you're a younger learner who's taking the a PET exam for schools, a preliminary for schools. It's still the same certificate there. Okay, so what are the key schools for the PET preliminary exam? Okay, so They should be able to read simple textbooks and articles in English, because this is all about real world English now, English that the students can use so they can handle everyday situations. They should be able to write letters and emails on everyday subjects, understand factual information that they're given in text, show awareness of opinions and mood in spoken and written English. See if they can recognize these, whether it's in text or they're listening to it. Take part in conversations by answering and asking simple questions. And follow and understand a range of spoken materials, including announcements and discussions about everyday life, whether that's at a train station, an announcement comes over, they have to be able to understand these. They need to understand the main points from signs, newspapers, and magazines, whether these are signs up in school or universities or just on the street. And they need to use vocabulary and structure correctly to pass this. Okay, so let's have a look at the different parts of the exam. So the speaking first, okay? So we've got 4 parts, 25% of the marks, and you're face-to-face, the student is face-to-face with the examiner. There's going to be 2 examiners in the room. There's one called an interlocutor who will be asking the questions and speaking to the students. And then quietly at the back, or maybe even online these days, they might be on a Zoom just on the computer, is the assessor. And they are listening carefully and assessing the student. So with the PET exam, then there could be a pair of candidates going in, or there could be a group of 3, and they will, in part 1, all be given a little interview and asked some personal information. Part 2, they'll be describing a photograph. Each of them will take about a minute to do that, to describe their photograph. In part 3, they will discuss with each other. It's all about communication now and speaking with each other and coming up with ideas. So it's really good that they have practice of this, and they know how to politely let others speak and listen to others' opinions. And part 4, they might just discuss that a little bit further with the interlocutor, who might ask them some questions about that last picture there that they've been discussing and their personal experiences about it. So that's the speaking paper. Okay, let's move on to the listening. So that's about 30 minutes and it's 4 parts again. It's got 25% of the total marks again. So you can see part 1 of this listening, you're going to identify key information in short monologues, and they've got visuals here, pictures. Pick the correct picture. In part 2, multiple choice, they're going to listen to some short dialogues again, and they have to understand the gist or the main point of the idea, and they've got multiple choice which one to pick there. In part 3, it's a gap fill. There's some missing information. So it could be a telephone conversation about something, and they have to listen carefully and write in the information. And in part 4, multiple choice again, you want to listen to an interview for a detailed understanding of meaning. And here they've got to identify attitudes and opinions of the speakers. Quite a tricky this one. Lots of practice needed for that. Okay, so that is the listening paper. Okay, so let's move on to the reading. 45 minutes, 6 parts, 32 questions, 25% of the total marks. Part 1, we can see here, has got some little posters or notes. They could be text messages on someone's phone, and it's a multiple choice, and they have to decide which of these, whether A, B, or C, matches the picture, which one is true of what the text says. Part two is matching. So we'll have usually a group of people, and there'll be descriptions about the people or what these people are looking for in a particular topic. Could be whether they're planning a holiday or they want to visit a restaurant. And then we'll have a list of those types of holidays or those types of restaurants. And we have to match carefully which one would suit which person. Okay, so a lot of practice needed for those. Part three is a gap fill. So it's just a longer text, and you have to comprehend the writer's attitudes and opinions and put the right word in. Part four is multiple choice, a shorter text this time, and you have to choose the correct vocabulary to fit in there. And then part five, another gap fill. Complete 6 gaps with 1 word. You get a choice of the words to use. And part 6, you have to complete the gaps again, but there's no multiple choice here. They just have to, the student just has to think of the word. So that's the reading. So the last part is the writing. 45 minutes for this, 2 questions, 25% of the total marks again, and you need to write 100 words. It could be answering an email with the notes provided. So we get an email and they just mark off some points that we've got to include in our returning email. And then the second part, the students get a choice. So there's 2 questions there that they can choose from. Could be an article, could be a review, could be a short story. It's about 100 words again. So they need to understand all the different options that might come up on the paper and make sure they've practiced all of them. Don't any nasty shocks. So that's the writing part. So let's move on. So teaching philosophy, let's just take a moment so that I can share my approach to teaching. So my philosophy is all about creating a supportive and engaging environment for learners so they can learn at their own pace. The PET exam covers a lot of ground, and we will tackle it one step and one task at a time. I think that's important. They need to have clear structure that makes things manageable, short little steps, and cover everything. Role play for the speaking parts is really important. So even if they're on a one-to-one class and it's just me and the student, I think it's important that we practice it. So I'll pretend to be the other student as well so that we can interact with each other and practice that. Or if it's in a group lesson, then they can talk together. My groups actually only have 2 students. I think it's important that for groups to have enough time to make sure everybody is understanding everything. So each of the students need, what should they expect? They need interactive learning so that they are trying everything. So in the lessons on the screen, filling those gaps themselves. I think that everyone should be informed and empowered student. If they know what they're going to expect, if they know exactly what's going to happen in the exam from the moment they walk in, from the speaking parts to when they're doing the reading and writing. If they know exactly what they're going to see and they're used to it, then it's going to take most of the stress out of the exam. Okay. I feel that every lesson needs a clear purpose or a goal, and I make sure that we do this because it directly benefits their exam preparation. So if they're thinking, oh, why are we doing this again, practicing it? Well, because you need a little bit more work on it. This is what's going to let you down. So let's move that and move on with this one. And exam specific strategies. I think managing their time is really important, knowing their strengths and going for those parts first. Okay. If they don't think they're going to do so well in other parts, well, then maybe leave those to last then and just work on your strengths and make sure that you've done those correctly first. So I think it's all to keep the a student feeling confident and capable and ready for the exam. So before we finish, I've got a short video here because we have to think of if we're not sure which Cambridge step or exam that your child should be working towards. So if I show you a clip from my Cambridge assessment class, this will help to understand how I do the assessment test, and then you get a detailed information about where your child sits on the scale and what they should be working towards. So this is Agnes, who's parents have kindly let me use a clip.
And and there's lots of different things like an astronaut floating out of outer space, and there's a cute alien.
There is a cute alien, so I think he's quite cute as well. Okay, anything else?
Who wants to be friends with the astronaut, and the alien says you have to go right back to our rocket now because there's a meteor.
Oh, a meteor.
A meteor flying across. So you
wow.
need to hurry and get back to the rocket and stay safe. The astronaut just said, "Okay, thanks for helping me."
That's so nice. What a lovely story. I think you're right about that alien. He does look friendly. He's got a big smile on his face.
And the astronaut got back to the rocket and flew back to Earth.
Oh, that's a nice story. The end. Okay, well, this time I'd like you to draw some things on this picture. Could you do that for me?
I don't.
Okay, right, well, listen carefully. I'd like you to draw a carrot on the alien's head.
A carrot on alien's head?
Yes, please. Oh, very good.
I'm not very good at drawing at the screen.
That's okay. I can tell that it's a carrot, so that's fine. Wonderful, Agnes. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so that was Agnes. Thank you. So thank you for watching. I hope this session has given you some insight into navigating these Cambridge exams and how you can support your child on their language journey. If you're unsure which exam level is best for your child, just like the clip you've just seen, then you could benefit from putting your child into an assessment class. So mine is Discover Your Exam Level, and I'll evaluate your child on all the 4 skills needed. And then afterwards, I'll provide detailed feedback and a recommendation to which class is suitable or exam is suitable for them. And as a thank you for watching today, I'm offering a discount on your first full class with me after any assessments that's taken. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see your child soon. Thank you. Bye. Hello everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Cambridge Steps. This is the preliminary PET edition, and my name is Karina, and I've been teaching on OutSchool for just over a year now. I'm a former international English school teacher and I'm Cambridge certified. I taught for over 15 years in private international schools in Turkey, but now I teach exclusively from home in the UK. I'm really excited to share my knowledge and insights about the Cambridge English Language Assessment steps with you today. So let's begin. So the